Fantastic views. Well worth the 2,000 forint. Hi, I'm Jack, and this is Wandering Free. Welcome to part 2 of 48 Hours in Budapest. Now, we left you at the end of the last episode after the first 24 hours with a old-timey traditional Hungarian community folk dance. It really got the blood pumping, which definitely got us drunker, and we really felt it in the morning. We woke up with the sunlight hurting our eyes and with a hangover neither of us had experienced in a while. Once we rallied ourselves and discovered it snowed during the night, we set off in search of one thing that could right our wrongs from last night. Coffee. And Ellen was right. That is Pete. He was nice enough to chat with us and offer us jobs as baristas in his new German coffee shop he's opening in Munich, but unfortunately, we currently have our hearts set on Berlin. The coffee was top-notch, hats off to the barista. Although we both preferred My Little Melbourne, Pete and the Flat White was a close second. Reasonably priced, for a good cafe, and a large selection of food, definitely gives Pete and the Flat White 5 stars. We jumped on the tram outside and thundered through Budapest to our next destination, the Grand Nagy Vásárosnok. Nagy Vásárosnok. A gargantuan indoor market built in the late 19th century. The market was seriously impressive. Even without the now outdated Christmas decorations, the sheer size of this place was astounding. The market itself hosted a huge variety of food and wares ranging from traditional to outright ridiculous. I grabbed myself one of these lovely Rolos, a puff pastry roll filled with cream cheese and dipped in grated cheese, for only 350 forint. There are 3 levels to this market hall. The main hall ground floor with a huge variety of food, trinkets and businesses. The much smaller downstairs market made up of pickle shops and fishmongers filled with overcrowded tanks of live fish. And then the first floor, which is rammed full of eateries specialising in Hungarian meat-forward dishes. Ain't much room to move around up here. Starting to realise how those fish must have been feeling. I opted for a langos, sort of like a huge deep-fried Yorkshire pudding, but with toppings. After I finished up, we jumped on another riverside tram up the Danube this time and made our way towards the Citadel, the large fortress-like palace on top of the hills that dominate the western half of the city, as you can clearly see here with the crystal clear skies we had that day. We actually ended up overshooting our stop and ended up outside the grand Gothic Hungarian parliamentary building, which looked extra eerie in the fog and devoid of all life. We decided to walk down the riverside back towards the Szentsény Landszid Bridge, and in doing so walked past a very poignant and sobering memorial to the murdered Jews of Hungary, titled Shoes on the Danube. I didn't record anything there because, unlike all the tourists taking smiling selfies and Instagram posts, I don't believe that that's the way to honour the memory of those who a memorial is commemorating. We continued towards the Citadel, crossing the stone 1800 suspension bridge quite literally into the unknown. Apparently the Citadel is right there in front of us somewhere, but as you can see, we couldn't. So we opted to take a closer look and took this beautiful mountain cable car that looks straight out of a Wes Anderson movie. Extremely quaint and European. Luckily, it was only 2,000 forint for a return ticket. Good old Market, passing us by. Spectacular views from the top here. Obviously, it would have been incredible without the fog, and I would love to go again one day to experience the Citadel properly. But don't get me wrong, I'm really glad we went up there that day, not only for the Citadel, but because we also got to see the changing of the guard ceremony. Now, I've seen the changing of the guard in London before, but this felt so much more military. It seemed less fancy and more fit for purpose, and especially with their 20th century uniforms and sentry posts, it felt like we were stepping back in time. I'm very happy we caught this, and we had no idea that they were even up here and just happened to arrive at the time they were due to change the guards. Because our frivolities from the night before kept us in bed for longer than we had intended, we were running late for the next item in our itinerary, so we rushed back to the other side of the river and jumped on the original metro line. This was built in 1896. It's actually the world's first electrified metro line, and it's only predated by the London Underground. We rode it for almost its entire length to... No, I'm not even going to try that one. for the Grand Budapest Thermal Baths. This huge spa, built in City Park in the 1800s, has its water supplied by 2 thermal springs with natural temperatures of 74 to 77 degrees Celsius. Now, I didn't record anything inside, as it would have been weird to have walked around in a public bath recording people in their bathing suits, and also because there was a lot of water. I did manage to snag this shot of the outdoor pool before we left though, to give you an idea of roughly what it was like. With our time in Budapest rapidly coming to an end, we nipped back home to dry off and get changed to go out for a nice meal. As we'd had a lot of oily fried Hungarian foods, we opted for Vietnamese that evening at Sao restaurant. So good. Definitely 5 stars from me. And then we finished our night at this communist bar called Red Ruin. Now, it was a much more tongue-in-cheek vibe and setting than, say, the Tagelung bar here in Berlin, but it was fun and chill and cheap. I think my beers were like 450 forint a pint. Fun decor, friendly staff and customers, but it was very small. Totally worth a visit, but I'd recommend hanging off to like simpler afterwards for a few to make space for others like we did. Love the setting and prices though. Solid 4 stars from me. And that's it. That was our trip. Wonderful, quick, easy, simple, cheap. I mean, we originally only went because we found Ryanair flights €20 return. So, all in all, yeah, Budapest is fantastic. Definitely recommend going. Well, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you can see more of the kind of videos we do as we live in Berlin and all around the world. Thanks very much for watching. Keep wandering free. Or, well, actually no, don't. Like, keep major social distance at this time and do not see anyone. Do not interact with anyone. Stay in and watch all my videos. Thanks, guys.